Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Jitin. Good evening, Pranav. Good evening, Shravan and Likita. Good evening to you. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening. Okay, just start our session, and like you all know, we were doing drainage. Okay, a quick revision we will do. So, what is the term drainage? Describes the the river system of an area. And what is basin? The area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. And what is water divide? Uh, when a mountain or an upland separates two drainage basin, it is called a water divide. Okay, now we studied about the drainage system of India. So there are at least four types of drainage system in India. Okay, the streams within a drainage basin from a certain pattern depending upon the slope of underlying rock structure as well as climatic conditions of the area. So these are dendritic, trellis, rectangular and radical patterns, the drainage patterns that we have. So we are not going to study in very much of detail. We are going to study a little. I hope you all have read. So what is the dendritic drainage? A dendritic drainage pattern develops when the river channels follows the slope of the terrain. Okay, that is the mountain. The pattern is characterized by a network of tributaries uh, that resemble the branches of a tree. So it goes this way. When a river is flowing this way, it flows this way. Okay, like branches of a tree. Okay, so this is the dentring pattern. We can have, yeah, see, it describes it, the river flows this way, and then it divides like branches of trees. Okay. Okay, the main river channel is the trunk. This is the main river channel is the trunk, and the tributaries join it as acute angle. The pattern is common in regions with uniform rock composition and consistent slope. Okay, the next is rectangular pattern. Okay, a rectangular drainage pattern develops where hard and soft rock exist parallel to each other. So you see there is hard rock and soft rock parallel to each other. The rivers and streams flow the joint and falls in the rock, creating a network of straight channels. So there are straight channels here, this way, okay, this way, and then this way. Okay. The pattern is characterized by right angled bends. Bends are right angle this way. You see the right angle here, okay, 90 degrees. And tributaries that meet the main channel at right angles. Okay, so these are rectangular drainage. Next, we have the terrace pattern. The terrace pattern, drainage pattern developed on a strongly joined rocky terrain. It is characterized by parallel main channels and short tributaries, joining them at right angles. So let us see here. Okay, the terrace. So this is the way it is flowing, and then it is joined by right angles. Okay, it is joined by right angles. Okay. It develops a strongly jointed rocky terrain. Okay. It is characterized by parallel main channels with short tributaries joining them at right angles. The main channel are usually longer and formed along the weaker rock layers where the tributaries develop along the joints and falls. Okay, now the last is radical. A radical drainage pattern develops when stream flows in different directions from a central peak like a dome-like structure. See, so this is this is the dome-like structure. It flows this way, and then it flows this way. Okay, and this is the central, uh, uh, central uphill. Okay, the central peak, or you can say dome-like structure. The pattern is commonly found in volcanic regions or in areas where a central uplift is there. The rivers and streams radiate down outwards from a central point resembling the spokes of a wheel. Okay, so we will also get in your questions long answer types. You have to you have to you will get a question. This often comes. Describe the four drainage system. Okay, all of you all understand the four drainage system? Yeah, Jitendra, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So the next important question: rivers constitute the most useful natural resource. Suppose this statement. Okay, this is the rivers. Rivers are the most important natural resource because rivers provide water for survival and growth of all organisms. Rivers provide ideal conditions, okay, for early man to lead a settled life. Most civilizations were made in the river banks. Okay, rivers have built plains, deltas have built flood plains, deltas, and provide fertile soil for agriculture. That is the reason most civilizations were formed near the river banks. Okay, water from rivers is used for drinking, irrigation, and generating hydroelectricity. We are producing hydroelectricity. Okay, man is able to supplement his food supply with the fish. There is a seafood is there. Okay, and rivers also serve as natural waterways. People can travel through rivers. Okay, world's earliest civilization developed in the river valleys. Like I told you, like the Nile Valley civilization, Indus Valley civilization, river valleys are the world's biggest agricultural lands and are densely populated regions. So wherever there are rivers, or you can say the river, civilization is dense over there. Fine. All of you will understand this question. Sampath, are you clear? Okay, now we are going to talk about the main features of the rivers originating from the
Yes,
Himalayas.
ma'am.
Okay, so we are going to talk about the Himalayan rivers here. So most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. It means that they have water throughout the year. Okay, we can, this question can also come in a different way, like explain the Himalayan rivers. Okay, the Himalayan rivers have long course. I have a special note here on the Himalayan rivers. Okay, so most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial and receive water from rain and melted snow from mountains. The Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra are some of the major rivers. So don't forget the Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. Several river tributaries join these rivers, collectively making a river system due to the fact that it joins with so many tributaries along its path. The length of these rivers is very long. Okay, the two significant Himalayan streams, the Indus and the Brahmaputra, show up the north of the mountain ridges. They make ravines and have long courses from their source to the ocean. They fall where? The Bay of Bengal. They perform rigorous erosion activity in their upper courses and carry huge loads of sand and silt. In the middle of the lower courses, these rivers form meanders, oxbow, oxbow lakes, and many other dispositional features in their floodplains. They also have well-developed deltas. Okay, now this is the main features of the Himalayan rivers. If they ask you about the Himalayan rivers, okay. So now write the main features of the Ganga system. Okay. Anybody wants to read the answer? Ganga system is, I think Himalayan river is the river. Yeah. Read this about Ganga. Pranav, are you there? Nikita?
Ma'am?
Yeah, hi Pranav. I want you to read this, the Ganga river system.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, from the first paragraph,
Yeah, from here, the Ganga river system.
the headstream of the Ganga, called by Bhagirathi, is fed by the Gangotri glacier and joined by the Alkananda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. Ganga thereby emerges emerges from the mountains, finding its way to the plains of one of the most religious, well-known lands on the Haridwar.
Okay.
Ganga stretches over the area with an immense length of 25,000 kilometers. The plain the plain that divides the water between the Indus and the Ganga is where Ambala is located. The plains over the length of 18,000 kilometer uh, stretch of Ambala to the Sundarbans.
Yeah.
It develops large meanders during its middle course. Major tributaries, left tributary are the Yamuna, the Gagra, the Gandak, the Kosi, and the right tributaries are Chambal, the Betwa, and the Son. It flows eastwards till Faraka in West Bengal, which is the northernmost point of the Ganga Delta, flowing towards the south, crossing the deltaic plains to the Bay of Bengal. The river bifurcates into the Bhagirathi Hooghly, a distributed.
Distributary. Yeah.
The enormously mighty river accompanied along with the water from the Ganga and the Brahmaputra find its way into the Bay of Bengal, whereas the delta formed and created by these rivers are known as the Sundarban Delta.
Okay. So do you understand the Ganga? So it started from the Himalayan range. We have, that is the Gangotri glacier. Okay, and it flows north northeastwards. Okay, and in between it forms several tributaries. Okay, we have from Ambala. Okay, now it stretches how much? 1800 kilometers, and it falls where? Here at the Baigarati Googly distributary in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, and in between Brahmaputra joins it. Okay, and then they fall here, and this is the Sundarban Delta. Okay, all of you will understand the Ganga river system. So it flows from Gangotri glacier and is joined by Alaknanda and then Haridwar, and then it goes all the way towards Brahmaputra. Sorry, towards the Bay of Bengal. It falls in the Bay of Bengal. Let's see more questions. Okay, why does Brahmaputra become a big river on entering India? Okay, because let's talk about the Brahmaputra here. Okay, somebody, Likhita, you want to read the Brahmaputra river system?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
The Brahmaputra river system. The Brahmaputra rises in Tibet east of Mansar
Mansarovar.
Mansarwar Lake from the Kailash range and flows east towards resemblance to the Himalayas. Most of its courses lies outside India, named Tsangpo in Tibet. It takes a U-turn at Nam. What is
Namcha
that?
Barwa.
And enters India in Arunachal Pradesh through a gorge. Here it is called the
Dihang.
It's joined by the Dibang, the Lohit, and numerous other feeders from the Brahmaputra in Assam. Left bank tributaries of Brahmaputra are Burhi
Budhi Dihang.
Lohit River, Dhansiri River, Kolong River, etc. Right bank tributaries of Brahmaputra are Manas River, Subansiri River, Teesta River,
Beki River.
Beki River, etc. In India, it carries a large volume of water and silt as it flows from high rainfall regions. It has a braided channel in its entire length in Assam and forms numerous riverine islands. It shifts its channel frequently as a huge deposit of silt causes the riverbed to rise and it is responsible for large-scale flooding every year. Brahmaputra River enters Bangladesh and flows with the name of Jamuna, where it is joined by the Teesta River and the confluence known as Meg, Meg,
Meghna.
Meghna River. And finally, the river enters the Bay of Bengal. It forms the largest delta of the world and the Sundarban Delta.
Okay, so when it enters, it joins the Ganga River and it falls together in the Bay of Bengal. It forms the world's largest delta. What is the name of the delta? That is called Sundarban Delta. This is the answer to this question that is here. So in Tibet, the Brahmaputra River carries a smaller volume of water and less silt as it is cold and dry. It enters India from Arunachal and is joined by many tributaries such as Dibang and the Lohit. It passes through a region of high rainfall. Here, the river carries a large volume of water and considerable amount of silt. Every year during the rainy season, the river overflows its bank. Brahmaputra is marked by huge deposit of silt on its bed, causing the river bed to rise. Okay, I will give you this answer. You will. This is a more detailed answer. Okay. Okay. So let us take up the next question. Mention the main features of the Ganga Action Plan. Main features of the Ganga Action Plan: sewage flowing into the river is to be diverted to other locations for treatment and conversion into energy source. Okay. Okay. Now steps to have been taken to supply safe drinking water by constructing electric ceremoniums and separating bathing huts. The diversion of several major drains carrying waste into the river has been completed in cities like Varanasi, Patna, and Kanpur, and pollution level has been decreased. Okay, so Varanasi, Patna, and Kanpur, and pollution level has been decreased. This is the diversion of major drains carrying waste into the river has been completed. So the treatment after being treated by pollution treatment plant, then they are allowed to go into the river. Okay, so infrastructure capable of diverting and treatment 835 million liters per day of domestic waste or sewage has been created. Ganga Action Plan has been merged with National River Conservation Plan. It now covers 152 towns located along 72 interstate rivers in over 16 states. Okay, let me see where this is in your reader. Yeah, here the growing domestic, municipal, industrial, and agriculture demand. Yeah, National River Conservation Plan. So this was the question. Okay, National River Conservation Plan. So okay, so the river cleaning program in the country was initiated with the launching of the Ganga Action Plan, that is GAP, in 1985. The Ganga Action Plan was expanded to cover other rivers under the National River Conservation Plan NRCP in the year 1995. The objective of the NRCP was to improve the water quality of the rivers, which are major source in the country, through the implementation of pollution abatement work. Okay, so somebody read this. Let's read this heading, and then we will understand this question better. Any who wants to read? Shravan, are you able to read?
Which one?
Yeah, river pollution.
Okay. The growing domestic,
Domestic. Yeah.
municipal, industrial, and agricultural demand for water from rivers naturally affects the quality of water. As a result,
Yeah.
more and more water is being drained out of the river, reducing their volume. On the other hand, a heavy load of untreated sewage and industrial effluent are emptied into the rivers. This affects not only the quality of water, but also the self-cleansing capacity of the river. For example, given the adequate stream flow, the Ganga River is able to dilute and assimilate pollution loads within 20 kilometers of large cities. But the increasing urbanization and
Urbanization.
industrialization do not allow it to happen, and the pollution level of many rivers has been rising. Concern over rising pollution in our rivers led to the launching of various action plans to clean the rivers. Have you heard about such action plans? How does our health get affected by polluted river water? Think about life of human beings without fresh water. Arrange a debate on this topic in the class.
Okay, so we have done this. We have done this. The Ganga Action Plan. Okay. Distinguish between delta and estuary. Okay, the delta, the triangular deposit made by the river at its mouth form delta, and estuary, the sharp edge at the mouth of the river devoid any deposit, is known as estuary. Deltas are formed in the region of low tide and coastal plains, the regions of high tides and rift valleys. This is the differentiation. Okay. Okay, now distinguish between perennial and non-perennial rivers. That is, these rivers have water throughout the year. Okay, rainfall and melted snow are the source of water in these years. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial, and non-perennial are these rivers. These have water only during the rainy season. Rainfall is the only source of water for these rivers. Okay, now most of the peninsular rivers are non-perennial. Okay, explain the National River Conservation Plan. We have done all this. differentiate between fresh water and salt water? Okay, so this is the difference between fresh water. Fresh water are mostly found in Himalayan regions. These are glacial origin, which means that they were formed through when glaciers dug out a basin, which was later filled with snow melt. Okay, so they have lot of fresh water. The Wular Lake in Jammu and Kashmir is a result of the tectonic activity. The Dal Lake, Bhimtal, Nainital, Loktak and Barapani are some of the important freshwater lakes. So now let's talk about the saltwater lake. Spits and bars from lagoons in the coastal areas. So these are Chilika Lake, the Pulika Lake, the Koleru Lake are the saltwater lakes. Lakes in the regions of inland drainage are the saltwater lakes. That is the Sambar Lake in Rajasthan. Its water is used for producing salt. Okay, why are the rivers important for the country's economy? This is an important question because it has hot, means it is often asked. Somebody read the answer for me. Jitendra?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Why are rivers important in the country's for the country's economy?
The rivers are important for a country's economy for the following reasons. Rivers are integral part of folklore and folk songs. Water from the rivers is a basic natural resource essential for human agriculture and industrial activities. This activity in its form is uneconomic, but it's a long-term becomes economic one. For example, Sahitya Academy transmission of dramas, plays, stories to abroad backs hard currency to India. 80% of mainstream population in India on agriculture indicates itself how important the surface water is for Indian economy. Tourism industry has developed by leaps and bounds in each country of the world after globalization of 20s. The industry backs million currency in American dollar. Human nature never does anything without its direct or indirect purpose, objective mission inherited or hidden therein. Mostly they prefer to earn, to live a peaceful life, to take refuge, etc. All selfish and not national. However, as seeds are spread out on the wings of insects, the literature, culture, activities sent and transmitted gradually gives birth to bilateral trade. The commodity of country is conserved in the countries of the entire world. It is globalization of economy, hence sprouts in economic activities.
Okay. So why rivers are important for our economy? Okay. In you just have to give because it's a if it is a long answer, you have to give an explanation on how it is. There are folklore and songs. Okay, and also 80% mainstay are on agriculture. Okay, so we need water for them. Next is the tourism industry. Okay, now the next point is direct or indirect purposes are there. Okay, mission inherited and hidden. They are preferred to live in a peaceful area. They live in a peaceful life, and of course, we need water for that. Okay, the bilateral trade and commodity of country is concerned in the countries of the entire world, it is globalization of economy, hence sprouts in economic activities. And for also you can say you hear the why because sea route is also very important in economic activities. What are the major factors responsible for river pollution? Okay, Somebody read this. Shravan, I want you to read this. What are the major
Which one?
factors responsible for river pollution?
Okay. High demand of water. The growing domestic,
Domestic.
municipal, industrial, and agricultural demand for water from rivers naturally affects the quality of water. As a result, more and more water is being drained out of river, reducing its volume. Industrialization. A heavy load of untreated sewage and industrial effluents are emptied into the rivers. This affects not only the quality of water but also the self-cleansing capacity of the river. For example, given the adequate stream flow, the Ganga water is able to dilute and assimilate pollution loads within 20 kilometers of large cities. But the increasing urbanization and industrialization do not allow it to happen, and the pollution level of many rivers has been rising. Agriculture pollution. The extensive uses of chemicals in the form of fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture have left the water bodies contaminated with heavy metals. Such heavy metals enter human body through the food we eat, and many of them cause health problems such as cancer.
Okay. So how we'll do whenever we talk about river pollution? Okay, the main thing is that there is high demand of water. You can say tanneries. Okay, even leather tanneries are there, and also many other industries. They are they are using a lot of water, and what because of this water they are pumping in water. Okay, and they are throwing out polluted water that is filled with chemicals, and it could be there are many different types of chemicals that are very harmful, and it is not dissolvable. Although Ganga river has an has is able to it is naturally it naturally dissolves all the pollution, but because of high rise of urbanization and industrialization, it is getting polluted. Next is agricultural pollution. People are for big harvest, they are using lot of chemicals and pesticides, and these pesticides are going to into human body, you can say, and this is causing many deadly diseases like cancer. What are the causes of water pollution? Is the same thing. Okay, this is kind of a same question in a different way. Let's do some. Okay, we've done this. I will send you this. I will send you this question and answers. Okay, so that you people can revise. And also, I will send the notes of the drainage system and the Himalayan rivers, the peninsular rivers. Okay, and I want you all to please read the chapter and then read the notes and then go through the question and answers. The short ones are going to give you a good idea. And then you have to write the long ones. Just read it, but write the answers in your own words. Don't mug it up. Okay. Try and understand the question and answer it as you. Okay. Anybody has any question?
No, ma'am.
Fine,
No,
fine,
ma'am.
fine. Okay, okay. Okay, then we will end the class now.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
Good.